Hey YouTube, Time Itself here. With the release of Destiny's first DLC last week, The Dark Below, I was considering whether or not I should get it. Maybe you were too. Lots of players seem excited for the new content, but there are no shortage of complaints about gear obsolescence, poor value, and the lack of variety in all facets of the game that's been around since launch. The lack of value in the DLC seems obvious. The game currently retails for $40 to $45 new, respectable for 3 months post-launch, and the new DLC is $20. The base game comes with 4 explorable planets, nothing new there in the DLC, 19 replayable missions, in the DLC there are 3, 5 strikes, 1 in the DLC, 1 raid, the DLC has 1, and 9 multiplayer maps, the DLC has 3. In other words, except for raid enthusiasts, this is going to be a tough sell on value. There are other assets like enemy types, armor, weapons, both individual and the archetypes, but the DLC is aimed at players who bought the game at launch for $60, not today. That makes for a somewhat better value comparison. Still, one of the common complaints was lack of content. The DLC isn't going to change that. Defenders may point out that popular Call of Duty map pack DLCs often include only 4 maps for $15, and a bundled extra is not worth the required hard disk space. Versus $60 for 14 maps in Ghost, they're a poor value comparison to the base game also. So thanks for agreeing. It's the Starbucks comparison. If you want to make a discretionary purchase sound more reasonably priced, people spending that much on coffee probably aren't too price conscious. Plus, they're probably addicted. Tends to skew the price-value comparisons. Clearly, this is part of the reason publishers like DLC. In other ways, the map pack comparison is a really sensible one. In both cases, the amount of new content is fairly small, so that if you only played the new stuff, it would get stale very quickly. Instead, a lot of it is just getting mixed back in with the old stuff that was going to get replayed anyway. Were you going to keep playing Destiny even without the DLC? Variety is even more subjective than a simple value of quantity of game for cost. But maybe straying too far from the current Destiny wouldn't be good. Power creep could be an issue with new weapon types and subclasses and such, but then this DLC has gone and intentionally done it just that, with the attack, armor, and light ratings that are strictly quantifiable. Enjoy having even less variety with your new gear until you've got enough XP, enough materials, glimmer, to buy those flavor upgrades again. Face it, the system is brilliant for getting players to go back and level up another item, but cruel because once upgraded you think, well, maybe you should be working on something else, and then you miss out on all those fun upgrades that add variety to the game. Planned gear obsolescence every 3 months could get tricky for bringing in new players. You can't make it take too long for them to get access to that DLC, and getting from finishing the story to running the Nightfall or raids takes too long already. We already see Bungie trying to work around this by improving the vendor gear, but to me this is just encouragement to wait to come back. If I can just wait another 3 months and then I only have to level up 1 set of gear instead of 2, well, that's less busy work for me. But if you were going to be playing anyway, you'd probably be leveling up gear because that's what you do in this game. Or maybe you figured out the best loadout ever. Already had made a YouTube video about it. But face it, a lot of the appeal of Destiny is just its ability to be an enjoyable time sink. This is one of the major ways they find to keep players logging in day after day, sinking hour upon hour into the game. I enjoyed the 2 months I spent playing Destiny, but I'm not very interested in replaying those missions more. That's why it's been weeks since I played. If new DLC means I need to go back to grinding bounties and farming explorable zones in order to level up and play the DLC raid, there's a reason not to go back. It mostly just means getting to the same point with the DLC as fast as possible as I already was with the base game. But if you're still wanting to play those missions again, you don't have that issue. If you think you've had enough of those, maybe this is a good time to take a break from Destiny. Still not sure? If you find yourself with a max level character and still want more, well, I don't suppose to say this expansion is in place of a subscription fee, but given the hours you've put in, and more importantly are going to put in, try and scrape together the cash. Smart management of discretionary spending means sticking to your budget and knowing when to just spend it, stop worrying about things, and go have some fun. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. I'd like to get back to regular commentaries, but we'll just have to see how things go. Anyway guys, I'll see you next time.